Massive thanks to the mad lads and ladies supporting the channel. The doggos say thanks. Hey everyone, it's time for some Helldivers 2, and today we're going to talk about Carl Jobs lying to his community for a couple of years at this point. Now, I actually really wanted to rant about Nintendo and pretty much how they're kind of leading the game industry towards a point where most people might not be able to easily afford new games coming out anymore. You know, the overcharged prices, you know, messing with the whole physical media stuff with their key cartridges, trying to strong-arm people into buying digital only, you know, going after emulation and stuff. But I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. Today, as much as I really want to talk about that and it upsets me, I want to talk about something that I feel like I need to talk about first and really put out there, you know, at least with my small voice as a content creator. As somebody who respects Carl Jobs, as somebody who wants to see Carl Jobs prosper, and as somebody who believed in him and felt betrayed by what he did. So, for those of you who don't know, Carl Jobs is a content creator that basically what he did was he would talk about, you know, speedrunning, people who cheating in speedrunning, and, you know, even besides that, he would also talk about, like, scammers, and especially calling out Billy Mitchell, also as formerly known by Penguin Zero, who I believe him to actually be called Silly Bitchel. Now, Mr. Bitchel was suing Carl Jobs, and Carl Jobs let us believe it's because Silly Bitchel lied about, you know, cheating in his Donkey Kong record, and also just being a, you know, general piece of garbage, you know, just in general. He is an actual piece of scum that I would wipe my butt with if... I probably wouldn't even wipe my butt with him if he was the last piece of toilet paper on the roll. Ooh, let me actually get away from that. Ooh, that is... why? But, that aside, Mr. Bitchel was actually suing Carl Jobs, and what Carl Jobs said was, oh yeah, it's because he was, you know, he sued me because I said he lied about his King of Kong record. Because with Billy Mitchell, he's really intent on keeping that lie, in my opinion, because I don't want to get sued by Silly Bitchel, about, you know, pretty much the King of Kong score and him not cheating and stuff. His lie about the King of Kong is, you know, is what Carl Jobs is suing him over. And he's really intent on keeping that record clean, because if he loses that King of Kong record, what'll end up happening is he'll lose a lot of his, like, advertising power, his marketing power, and obviously people will know he's a piece of shit liar. Because in my opinion, he is a piece of shit liar, and in my opinion, he is lying about his King of Kong score, because in my opinion, based on the evidence provided, the copious amounts of evidence provided, Mr. Bitch is, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not trying to rag on this guy so hard. He is a disgusting human being. I am so sorry. I cannot stand this man. But anyway, Mr. Billy Mitchell basically sued a lot of people over, you know, saying he lied about his King of Kong score, even though there's copious amounts of evidence that prove otherwise. In terms of, you know, like, Carl Jobs, I'm sorry, I cannot, I'm so mad he actually won. I am so mad that Billy Mitchell won the lawsuit, but he had a good reason to win. He actually deserved to win in this situation, because Carl Jobs was misleading his community for years. What Carl Jobs was doing was saying that he was being sued over Billy Mitchell basically saying he lied about his King Kong score. What actually happened was there's a content creator called Apollo Legend who unfortunately took his own life. And because of that, you know, Carl Jobs basically said, well, because Billy Mitchell sued him into oblivion and he went into a huge, severe debt, that resulted in him, you know, according to Carl Jobs, trying to, attempting to take his, you know, taking his own life because of the debt. And while I can understand where Carl Jobs is coming from there, he actually got sued over that and not the King of Kong score. Now, that was part of it, the King of Kong score, and they didn't say, like, you know, oh, the King of Kong score, you have to, you know, it's like, oh, the King of Kong score is valid, and blah, blah, blah. Basically, what happened was that the results were live streams, and the judge said that Carl Jobs, you know, Billy Mitchell was not, like, the direct result, like, he was not responsible for the death of Apollo Legend, actually. But what Carl Jobs did was he started a GoFundMe, and he got hundreds of thousands of dollars. and he lied for 2 years over he lied for 2 years over what the lawsuit was actually about. He was saying it was over the King of Kong scores. And I just feel betrayed as somebody who avidly watched the lawsuit, who was a part of it, who, you know, was really rooting for Carl Jobs, because he did not deserve to win in this situation, because he was irresponsible saying Billy Mitchell was responsible for the death of Apollo Legend. Now, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, I believe that Billy Mitchell suing Apollo Legend and putting him into severe debt did affect Apollo Legend's mental state to such a degree that it could have pushed him in that direction. In my opinion, I am not factually stating that, but I believe that. Regardless of whether or not... I actually just realized I've been unmuted this whole time, and these guys have heard everything I said. But regardless of whether or not I believe that, unfortunately, you know, the legal system does not. And they said that Billy Mitchell was not responsible for it, which, fair enough. And Carl Jobs was actually getting sued because he said Billy Mitchell was responsible for that on a platform where he has, like, millions and millions of subscribers. And that is extremely irresponsible to do. That's not something that you can do as a content creator. And it's not even the fact he said it. Like, I mean, if he was getting sued and he was like, okay, guys, I might lose this lawsuit and this is why I'm getting sued, you know, a lot of people would have chastised him and a lot of people would have been incredibly disappointed, and nowhere near as many people would have, you know, contributed to his legal fees to aid him with the case. However, it doesn't change the fact that Carl Jobs painted it out to be like, oh, well, this whole time he was getting sued because Billy Mitchell said he lied about him being, you know, his King of Kong scores, instead of, you know, him being responsible for the death of Apollo Legend as per, or potentially being responsible for the death of Apollo Legend, I guess, as per Carl Jobs' video. I mean, even besides that, I also wanted to bring up Some Ordinary Gamers. He did go over the situation, and I feel like he didn't really... Like, I think he really took it easy on Carl Jobs. Now, Some Ordinary Gamers and Carl Jobs work together to, like, bring the completionist scams and fraud to light, which is respectable, and they're friends, and that's understandable. But if my friend was lying to their audience of millions of people for years to get hundreds of thousands of dollars from them for legal fees, like, the way Mudahar put it, he basically said, oh, well, you know, he couldn't just explain why he was being sued. And fair enough, I guess, but... if he didn't bring up why, like, he didn't even have to say, oh, I'm getting sued because, you know, they're suing me because I said that Billy Mitchell is responsible for Apollo Legend's suicide. Instead, what he could have said was, well, I said something irresponsible and I might lose, and that's why I'm getting sued, but there's a chance I could win, and I want y'all, because, you know, I believe this personally, and I would appreciate y'all helping me with my legal fees so I can try to fight this case. He didn't even, like, go that route of trying to hint that, oh, well, it's not the King of Kong scores that he said Billy Mitchell cheated on, which I personally believe he did, based on the evidence, allegedly. But what happened was that Carl Jobs lied for 2 years, and he said it was just for the King of Kong scores. He didn't... I have watched every single one of his videos about Billy Mitchell. I reveled in seeing Billy Mitchell crashing out and potentially losing everything because he's such a disgusting, just a disgusting little cockroach, man. And he's like a greasy slimeball cockroach. And, you know, just, you know, obviously I don't factually, like, I'm not going to factually say Billy Mitchell is responsible for one thing or another. But regardless of what Carl Jobs believed, regardless of what I believe, regardless of what the community believed around any of that, it is factual, as proven in evidence, that Billy Mitchell did say if Apollo Legend killed himself, he would have been happy. So that tells me everything I need to know about that roach of a human being. It wasn't evidence in official court-documented evidence. According to the evidence, Billy Mitchell did say that. So that should tell you everything you need to know about him. But regardless of that, Carl Jobs lied to his community for 2 years and got hundreds of thousands of dollars from them. And Mudahar from Some Ordinary Gamers basically was like, oh, well, yeah, I kind of understand where he's coming from and why he couldn't say it. But what he didn't say was that Carl Jobs, you know, Carl, I love you, man. We did a lot of work together. I respect you, because I still respect Carl Jobs. but I'm very disappointed in him. I do feel hurt, and it's not to the point where I think he's an unforgivable human being and I just don't want anything to do with him. I'm still subscribed to him. I still plan to stay subscribed to him because I respect him and I appreciate the work he does. And I think one mistake doesn't define who you are. But this it felt deliberate. And I'm willing to wait for an explanation, but Carl needs to come clean. And if he doesn't come clean, that just tells me everything I need to know. But if he does come clean and he explains why he did it, then yeah, I'm willing to give him another chance. But he needs to come clean, he needs to apologize, he needs to explain why he pulled the rug over everyone's eyes. But Mutahar, he should have said, like, Carl, I respect you, I love you, bro, we're friends. He doesn't, like, obviously, when I say I love you, bro, a lot of people don't say it like that, but it's like, hey, we're friends, I respect you, we're, like partners in some cases, but you should not have lied to your community. He has like 3 to 4 million subscribers, and he's like, oh, well, I understand why Carl did it. And no, Mutahar, like, I respect Mutahar so much too, because he's about like games preservation and stuff. But the fact that he just tiptoed around the situation, I just, like, I understand they're friends, but it's so frustrating because I don't want to think these two are like willing to lie to their audience and pull the wool over our eyes, but it feels very scummy and dirty. Like, a lot of people said Mutahar is very hypocritical, and I thought it was, like, okay, I can understand where they're coming from, but I also think it's overblown. But Mutahar not directly calling Carl out and being like, well, I understand what you did, it is wrong, and you shouldn't have done that. That is something that disappoints me in Mutahar, and it's something that it very much disappoints me in Carl Jobs. But yeah, I think that's all I'm going to say on the matter. Sorry for ranting for so long, but I'm only ranting like this because I care. I care about Carl Jobs. I care about, Mutahar from Some Ordinary Gamers. I want them to succeed. I want them to keep succeeding. But Mutahar, he basically softened the blow, or did his best to soften the blow, I feel like, when he should have called him out respectfully as a friend or as a partner or whatever else. And Carl, he just lied. For like 2 years, he lied. And that just feels dirty. Like Illuminati vibes, where it's like, oh, you're calling out all these MLMs and scummy people, but you're kind of a piece of shit yourself. Like, I'm not saying Carl's anything like Illuminati. I don't think he's anywhere near that bad. But he still lied to his audience deliberately for 2 years and pulled the wool over our eyes. And all he had to say was, hey, it's not just about the game scores. They saying I lied about something else. They could have like a really good case against me. I might lose. And it's something that I shouldn't have said. But, let's say, he could have had like, but I personally believe it. But, he should have just slipped it in there somehow. Like, even if he didn't have to specifically say, oh, they're lying because I said that I think, Billy Mitchell or Silly Bitchell is responsible for Apollo Legend killing himself. He didn't even have to word it like that. All he had to say was, and I'm saying, allegedly that's what was believed. Or that's what, the allegation was. But what I'm saying is that Carl Jobs, like, hit it. He didn't even hint at it. All he talked about was Silly Bitchell and his stupid, in my opinion, cheated scores. So, yeah, I think that's everything I'm going to say on it. As much as I'm super pissed at Nintendo, and I'm going to rant about them so hard tomorrow, I just really wanted to bring this up because this is something I believe in as a content creator. You should not lie to your audience. You should not obfuscate the truth. You should be completely direct and completely upfront. Even if it could potentially lose you a lot of your audience, even if it could, basically shoot yourself in the foot, it's better to limit yourself and your own potential and, your own revenue for any certain thing, no matter what it is, than lie to your audience. Because at the end of the day, we're not just numbers. We're not just numbers on a screen. We're people. We're people that care about somebody like Carl Jobs, who's trying to do good and trying to be a good person, and then we see him like, you've lied to us for 2 years. Why? Do you not trust us? Do you not like as an audience, do you not believe in, us wanting to see you succeed? And as much as I understand how volatile YouTube is as a platform and how volatile social media is in general, it would have been better to come out with it up front and only get like 50 to 60,000, you know, dollars for his thing and lose the case, than lie and get like $230,000, almost $250,000. And then now he's got a black stain on his record forever. And it's like, now we can't trust his word, because Carl was somebody who, you know, is somebody who goes through all the details with a fine-tooth comb, like CoffeeZilla. People sue him and he faces it. He just stands up and he's like, you know, hey, what's up, you absolute legends? This is wrong, and I don't like it, and this is what I believe in. And he did it with his chest out, and we respected him for that. But he has lost so much of that respect because he lied to us for 2 years. Not over a small little personal matter, but over an extremely public, like hundreds of thousands of dollars lawsuit that he solicited donations from through his community. So, yeah, again, that's my belief on it. I have to hurry and get ready for work, but yeah, thank everybody so much for watching. I'm just so disappointed in Carl. If you like the video, leave a like on it, subscribe if you want to hear me yap about Nintendo tomorrow so you can get notified of it, and leave a comment down below on if you know this guy, if you've heard of this situation, or what you think about it. That said, if you want to support the future of the channel, check out my Patreon, linked in the description below, or become a member here on YouTube, and if you want to join a community of people who play Monster Hunters or other, you know, games like Monster Hunter, then check out my Discord, linked in the description below as well. Sorry for the lack of gameplay, I just really wanted to focus on getting my words out in a cohesive manner. But yeah, that's it. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye now.